In communist North Korea, one of their submarines has gone missing. Intelligence officials in the West, including the United States, suspect that because the submarine appears to have been damaged during some sort of exercise that was being done, that it may have actually sunk. On the other hand, it also may have been dispatched to try to spy on South Korean and American forces who are now conducting joint military, including land assault exercises in the area. North Korea continues to make threats and say it will annihilate all enemies. As usual, it's meaningless, empty rhetoric by its dictator. Good luck with that. Republican presidential candidate Marco Rubio has won the caucus in Washington, D.C. Coming in second place was Ohio Governor John Kasich. The vote is essentially meaningless because although Rubio has won the caucus, he has nowhere near the total needed to even be a credible threat to Donald Trump or to have any hope of winning the Republican nomination. In fact, leaks from Rubio's camp indicate that he will withdraw from the race after Florida's contest next week. Speaking of Rubio, Rubio has indicated that he may not endorse Donald Trump even if Trump is the eventual nominee. Talk about a sore loser. In the spirit of politics or in the presidential race or in supporting your fellow party, it is quite common for even those politicians who oppose each other in preliminary contests that they eventually line themselves up and back the nominee. Rubio has indicated, though, that he may not do this. If that is true, then this will bode ill for him in the future going forward as he tries to reinvent his political career and actually save his political future. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who is also running for president, is under deserved fire for making some incredibly ridiculous remarks about Nancy Reagan and her so-called fight to support research and development of drugs to fight the disease AIDS. Hillary has since walked back her remarks. What did she say that was so ridiculous and outlandish? Well, let me read it to you since it actually is a bit lengthy. What Hillary said was, it may be hard for your viewers to remember how difficult it was for people to talk about HIV/AIDS in the 1980s. And because of both President and Mrs. Reagan, in particular, Mrs. Reagan, we started national conversation when before no one would talk about it. No one wanted to do anything about it. And that too is something that really appreciated with her very effective, low-key advocacy. But it penetrated the public conscience, and people began to say, hey, we have to do something about this too. Now, when Hillary made this remark, she was immediately criticized because it's not grounded in reality. It contains no facts at all. In fact, the Reagans, including especially President Ronald Reagan, were deathly silent about the issue of AIDS and didn't want to go there. As a result, an understandable groundswell campaign developed called Silence Equals Death. And it was true. If you ignore a problem that is killing people, the problem is only going to get worse. Once again, Hillary Clinton has now walked back her remarks. Rather than say I was wrong, she uses the politically correct term of walked back. Just like candidates today don't quit races, they suspend their campaigns, even though they're really quitting them. What prompted Hillary to say the loopy remark that she did? Who knows? If this is really from her, and not someone controlling or influencing her or telling her what to say, then she has no grasp of basic American history 101, including of the predecessor to her husband's first presidency, actually Ronald Reagan and then George Bush. She didn't understand what was going on, and she has a very faulty memory, which is not a good sign for someone who wants to be the next president of the United States. Or if someone wrote this for her and she was just acting like a teleprompter and just speaking what somebody blindly told her, this is also bad because it means that she was unaware of the incorrect errors made in the history that was given to her. No word from the Clinton camp on where the source of this comment came from. We do know, however, that it was wrong. Scientists have manipulated a gene inside of a chicken that has allowed it to revert back in history millions of years to bear uncanny resemblance, in fact identical match to what used to be dinosaurs. There is a gene inside a chicken that is inactive that allows it to revert back to its evolutionary heritage, including developing claws, a long tail, and even the head of a dinosaur. Scientists have assured the public that they will not do further gene manipulations. I wouldn't actually place a bet on that.